Greetings, my fellow YouTubers. This is a shot of whiskey, and I'm not sure if you can tell because it's about 2:33 o'clock in the morning right now, but it's kind of cloudy. Or more accurately, smoky. I know I've mentioned this before, but I live in Southwest Washington, which means right now there's fire all around us. We're all gonna die. Yay, fire! But, I should probably be wearing some type of mask, but honestly, the quality of the air isn't that bad right now. At least not compared to how it was earlier today. It may have something to do with it being nighttime and colder. I don't know. I am not much of a smoke expert. But I just know it's not as bad as it was earlier today. Anywho, today's video, I was debating on whether or not I wanted to read off one of 4 articles that I have. But I decided to say, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to do something that I have done before. Wasn't sure if I was going to do it or not, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of do a half-assed NFL prediction. Now, I say half-assed because this year I hadn't really been following that much of, stuff like draft picks, free agencies, stuff like that. I mean, I kind of knew some things here and there. Like, my Hawks, they made some pretty good acquisitions for defense. I don't know if it's going to be enough to improve their overall pass defense, but I think they're definitely good enough to where the rush defense will be noticeably better. So maybe their defensive abilities are going to go back up. Not quite to Legion of Boom level, but enough to where they're going to be better than they were last year. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But, I looked around at various websites that had experts predicting things. One of them in particular, it was actually kind of fun watching this one. And I don't remember which one it was. It was either CBS Sports or Sports Illustrated. But they had a panel of 7 people who were experts. They basically picked who the seeds were going to be in each division, so I guess division finals, first, second, third, fourth. And then they picked who the 3 wildcard teams are going to be. And yes, 3, the NFL has in fact decided that they are going to have 3 wildcard teams per conference instead of just 2, like it has been since the division realignment happened. As I understand it, this is basically an experiment. Depending on how well things go, they'll continue it. And if it doesn't work out too well, they'll probably go back to 2. To be entirely honest, I think they probably should keep it at 3. But again, we'll just have to wait and see. Anywho, the thing I was going to bring up, the panel of 7. There were 3 things in particular that was noted kind of before you actually see who picked what. There were 2 teams that they all agreed on the final placing. In the AFC West, all 7 agreed it's going to go to the Kansas City Chiefs, which I agree with. And all 7 of them agreed that the Chicago Bears are going to finish last in the NFC North, to which I also agree. Only one team had a vote for all 4 spots, and that would be my Seahawks. 3 of them picked them to win the division, which I think there's a good shot of that. 2 of them picked them to get second place, which I hate to say it, but if I was to put money on it, that's where I would put them at. 1 said third. I don't see LA or Arizona being good enough to do that, though, to be honest. And 1 said fourth. No, there's no way in hell. But in any case, my final pickings, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing, I'm just going to kind of give some basic ideas. So let's go ahead and go with the AFC. I did say that I think the Chiefs are going to win the West. They also realistically have a good shot of getting that 1 first round bye. To be entirely honest, I think the only other team that stands a chance is Baltimore. I do think Baltimore is going to win the North. I know Pittsburgh's going to be good enough to be a somewhat serious threat. However, I don't think they're going to win the division. Cleveland, again, still focusing on the North. I think Cleveland has what it takes to break even. They might even win 9, which means that they might even make it to the playoffs as a wildcard team. Might. As far as the AFC West goes, aside from the Chiefs, I don't know. I don't really think any team there is going to be worth mentioning as far as the playoff hunt. We might be talking about the Chargers. We might be talking about the Broncos. I really don't see the Raiders doing much of anything. But you never know. I mean, they've got Derek Carr. I still think he's a pretty damn good quarterback. A lot of it's really just going to depend on how everybody around him works, which that's why it's a team. But if I had to pick now, I would say that the only team in the AFC West that's going to the playoffs is the Chiefs. Whereas with the North, definitely the Ravens. Steelers have a really good chance. Browns, the chance is there. Over in the East, I think this is the year that New England has their winning streak, their division winning streak, come to an end at 10. Thank fucking God. And I think it's going to go to the Bills. And I'm really hoping that the Bills will be smart about this and keep it going for years to come. Because I think a lot of people are sick of the Patriots constantly winning it, constantly going to the playoffs, blah, 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 blah. Miami, I'd be really surprised if they get 7. The Jets, I'd be surprised if they get 4. But, so yeah, definitely the Bills, maybe the Patriots. And as far as the South, this one's going to be fun. If I absolutely had to pick, again, based off of what I've looked at, I would say the Colts. But I can see the Titans doing it. Houston, which, by the way, they lost to the Chiefs today. Houston, I think, has what it takes to hurt the abilities of the Colts and the Titans to make a playoff appearance and to affect the seeding. I don't see Houston being good enough to make the playoffs, though, which is kind of a bummer, but, you know, they've had chances. They've been a good team before, so whatever. So, yeah, I would say Chiefs, Ravens, Bills, Colts. And as far as the wild card teams go, I'd probably say Steelers. I hate to say it, Patriots. And I'd probably put the Titans. Chance it could be the Browns, but I'm not holding my breath on that. I'm going to go Titans in that case. NFC. This is going to be fun. Let's go ahead and focus on the East. I don't think any team in that division is really going to be wow. We might see something out of the Eagles, partly because I think that's who's going to win the division. Dallas is going to be good enough to where they're going to be talked about as a possible serious wild card threat going into December, but I don't think they're going to succeed. And that's mostly because the South and the West is going to be pretty damn top-notch. So let's focus on the North. Green Bay, Minnesota, Detroit. I think those 3 teams are going to... there's going to be an interesting fight with those 3. I think the Packers are going to win again. Well, win the division again. But they're not going to be anywhere near as good as they were last year. Last year, they were this close to the Super Bowl. This year, they're just barely going to squeak into the playoffs just because somebody from the North has to be there. However, I could see the Vikings finally pulling their shit together and seeing them win the division. Detroit, not really. Green Bay and Minnesota, like I said, I don't really think that they're going to be that good as far as comparing to the rest of the conference as a whole. But either one of them has what it takes to surprise me. I truly believe that. And I do believe that Detroit has what it takes to hurt their abilities. Basically kind of like what Houston is going to be for the AFC South, in my opinion. Not enough to where I would say Detroit's going to make a playoff push. And in fact, between Green Bay and Minnesota, whoever does not win the division, I don't think they're going to have a shot at the wild card spots either. Again, just because of how tough I think the South and the West are going to be. Speaking of the South, I don't know who I would pick between the Saints or the Bucks, to be honest. The Falcons, I think, are going to be good enough to be a playoff contender. They are going to make it as a wild card team. They will not win the division, though. That's going to go to either the Saints or the Bucks. I really want to say the Saints, not just because I hate Tom Brady, but they've been working together pretty damn well for these past couple of years, and they've just recently picked up some top-notch veterans. I think they could make a serious push to make one final Super Bowl appearance for Drew Brees. I can see that happening. The Bucks, having Brady at the helm, is definitely going to make it to where they're going to go to the playoffs. First time since, 2007, I think? 2008? Somewhere around there. But they've got a pretty long drought going on for them. They're definitely going to break that and possibly win the division. But how's he going to work with this new system? They've also got Gronkowski coming back from retirement. It's going to be kind of interesting to see how well he does there. And I know there's at least one other former Patriot that's going to be with the Bucs too. I just can't think of who it is. But in any case, I definitely do think that the Buccaneers are going to be dangerous, could win the division. The West, no doubt in my mind, it's going to come down to San Francisco and Seattle. Might even come down to the very last game of the regular season. I actually ran through that schedule playoff predictor thing that I've used before on this channel, actually. I think I did that 2 years ago, I think. But in any case, with that, I came up with Seattle and San Fran coming down to the very last game of the season, which is going to be in San Francisco, which makes me think that the Niners are going to win and therefore win the division. Seattle will indeed be a playoff contender. They will be a wild card. Just because of the South, I don't think Seattle's going to get the 5th seed. I think they're going to get the 6th. I think it's going to go Tampa Bay, Seattle, Atlanta. So, and as far as the final seeding of the division champions, that's going to be kind of interesting to figure that out. However, if I absolutely had to pick right here and now, I would go for the Saints. So, there you go. Anyways, how long has been this video? Well, a little over 13 minutes. Not bad. I feel kind of rambly at certain things, but whatever. I'm just kind of winging this. I thought I heard someone. Whatever. A little paranoia. It's late at night. Someone's gonna kill me. Anyways, enough fucking around. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. Oh! There is one more thing that I wanted to mention. You guys know how I was talking about those parody songs that I've been wanting to do. Well, I finally did the recording for September. About as bad as I was expecting. I'm not a singer. I'm really not. But yeah, I think it's tolerable enough for someone to listen to somebody doing a parody, but seriously, don't expect it to sound good, because I can't sing worth a shit. So, you have been warned. And I'm also thinking about putting up an extra little warning indicating I've never learned how to sing, so prepare your ears, kind of thing. Or I haven't figured out how I want to word it, but so yeah, the parody is coming. I just basically have to put the sound files together so it's ready to go. And I'm debating on whether or not if I want to actually show the lyrics as they come up, or if I just want to do a slideshow with a whole bunch of different examples of Biden being a dumbass or vile person or something. I don't know. I haven't really quite decided that part yet. I might just go with the idea of showing the lyrics. Just make it easier. And besides, it might be hard for people to understand some of the things that I'm saying without lyrics, especially since it's a parody. But so anyways, until then, peace out everyone.